Hello, everybody. We at GDSCMU welcome you all to today's workshop. We hope you all are doing good and are ready with your laptop or PC. I am Humayu, currently a third year computer engineering student at ZHCD I'll be leading this session today, so let's go. Major league hacking events are meant to bring hackers, people like us, together so that we can learn, build, and share. Each year, Emulate supports over 65,000 hackers around the world at events they facilitate. Today, we'll learn about these things. We'll look into the structure and syntax of HTML and CSS, their important properties, and also we'll see how we can deploy our website using just a few of the configurations so that anyone can access our website with the click of a link. So obviously, why does it even matter? What can you do with such and such skills? You need to know that on every website that you may have visited ever, a part of it was written using HTML and CSS. They are indeed one of the foundational skills that you should have in case you want to become a web developer or designer or even a UI UX designer as well. Also, when you deploy your websites, then you can access them anywhere on your phone, laptop, or PC. Let's look at what we'll build today. Let me open this URL. So as you can see, we are going to build a simple standard personal web page. It's really important for you guys to know that you can change anything and everything about this website we are building today. For example, you can add your personal projects, you can change these links to your Instagram, blog, or any paper you publish. You can also feel free to change the colors, images, fonts, etc. Today's workshop is meant to dip your toes into the world of front-end basic website development. We won't overwhelm you with a lot of stuff, and it will be a lot of fun as well. First of all, let's now go to glitch.com. Okay, I want you all to open the glitch.com and sign in. And then you need to go to this URL. You share this in the chat itself. Now you should go to this URL and then scroll down and you'll see this option, remix your own. Click on it, that will open it in a text editor. So while it opens, to preview this website, you can click on this show live option. Okay, show live. We'll not use this next to the code. We'll show it live in a new window. So this is the website until now. I hope you all have opened it in your browser. Now let's make our first changes. We'll change your name here and what's your name hacker with your own name. And make sure you guys are also following me, otherwise we won't reach the results together, right? Parallelly, we can check the results as well. So let's go to this part index.html, open this file and change this your name here and what's your name hacker with your own name. Do it like I'm doing. You may see that this has changed. And in case of any problems, you can just put it inside this chat box. I'll be checking this QR code. Well, we have seen that we have changed this part to our own name. Yeah, that was pretty cool indeed. We just edited the HTML and saw live changes on our website. To understand what we did, let's dive into the project. Now, what are these files? The folder named assets, when you see here, is where you'll store images that you want on your page. readme.md conveys information about your website. Index.html is the HTML file, as you may have guessed too. This HTML file has the skeleton of our website. Mediaqueries.css is basically a CSS file that makes your website look nice on different devices. Well, you won't be editing this file in this workshop, so let it remain as it is. Style.css is a CSS file that has all the styling we want on our website. This is the CSS file that we edit today. And by the way, if you don't already know, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is the skeleton used by every web page on the internet. So it determines the structure of HTML elements. And they are noted. So if there are any problems also, you can just post it here. So basically most of the HTML elements consists of an opening tag, content and the closing tag, except the link and the image tags, which are self-closing tags. All of the content that we see on a web page goes inside the body tag, this body tag. So whatever we see on a website, everything is inside this body tag. Let's see an example here on line 1. This doc type HTML tells us that this file is an HTML file. On line 2, we have the opening HTML tag, which is closed on line 11. On line 3, we have the head tag, which contains information about our website. As it is not inside the body tag, it is not visible to the user. Inside the head tag on line 5, we have the title tag, which contains the title to our website. So as we have edited this title tag with this name, with our name, it is mentioned here. Okay, there is some noise disturbance. Is it fine now? Okay, let me rejoin. Is my voice clear? Hello, can anyone confirm? Is my voice clear? Okay. No, still disturbance. What kind of disturbance? Is it clear now? Or I think I may have to change my earphones. Just say yes or no. Anyway, it's clear, right? It's clear. Some more responses. Okay, okay. I'm changing now. Hello, is my voice clear now? Are you still experiencing disturbances? It's clear, right? Some more responses and I'll continue now. Okay, so I believe it's clear now. So as we just edited the title tag, which contains the title to our website here, this is showing here. Okay, so this is the title to your website, this title tag. So now let's see what we have in our case. So this meta tag has all the information about how a page should be rendered to you. Yes, we did this. Okay, this meta tag has all the information that about how a page should be rendered to you. The link tag connects your HTML file to the other files. For example, the CSS style sheets. Okay, in our case, we have these two style sheets. This one we don't have to edit, and this one we'll edit. Here we can see these two files which are accessed remotely. We don't have them in our project. These are accessed using their links. Okay, these two links. We don't have it here. Now from line 14 to 25, we can see we have all the content that we can see on our website enclosed between the body tag. Here the h1 tag is a header tag. Header tags go from h1 to h6, h1 being the largest and h6 being the smallest, just like levels in decreasing order. Okay, so h1 is the largest of them and h6 is the smallest. P tag represents a paragraph tag. Lines 22 to 20, 23 to 24 is what makes that glitch fish appear in the corner. So we had a deep dive into the HTML code. Now you must be wondering how come some of the text that we saw was blue and some of them were even bigger. We do all of that using styling, and here comes CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. Looking into its syntax quickly, we can see that the CSS rule set, we have a selector that specifies which HTML is to be styled. In our case, it's h1. Property is the characteristic of an HTML element that we can set or change. Here in our case, we are changing the color of h1 tag, and a value is the way we want our property to appear. For example, in our case, you can see that we want to change the color property of our h1 tag to a value blue. Okay, so we select this h1 tag using this CSS selector. We define this in a CSS file, and we'll change the color of this tag. Color means the text color. Okay, this color, the color of the text, to blue. Okay, so this was the CSS rule set, the complete rule set, with opening and closing braces. Before it, we have the CSS selector. Now let's go and add some content as we understand the structure and syntax of both HTML and CSS. I wanted to change this sentence. Let's build something cool together to a sentence about yourself. With this sentence, change this about anything you want to write about yourself. Just small sentence. Now what you'll do is you will add an h2 tag that shows about on line 21. Okay, so as you can see that we wrote this here and this is visible here. So add an h2 tag on line 21. After that, add a p tag on line 25 with some more information about yourself. I'll give you guys a minute or so to add this information. Okay, so write a p tag. Inside it, write anything you want about yourself and then end this p tag using this closing tag. Line 25. So it can be anything you want to write about yourself. So that's how it look after you have finished adding it. You may not have this link. Okay, so in your case it will be simple text. Anything that you have added here on line 25 about yourself inside the p tag. This is the opening p tag and this is the closing p tag. The difference of just this slash. Again, h1 is a heading element. Size of text under h1 tag is largest and it goes down from h1, h2 to h6, and the p tag is used when we write paragraphs on a web page. Okay, moving on to our project section, add an h2 element that says projects on line 29 and also add a ul element on line 33. So how we'll do it? Okay, so I believe you all are doing parallelly along with me. Line 33, you need to add a UL element. You can add just this UL tag. Okay, opening and closing tags. I'm adding the whole of it and I'll explain what this all means. Okay, so inside the UL tag that you have added, this is the opening UL tag, this is the closing UL tag, add three li tag, and inside each of them add a h3 tag. Okay, so that should look like this. Forget about this, you just need to add it like this. Okay, so I'm giving you 40 to 50 seconds. Start adding this. Okay, inside the UL tag, add three li tags. Start here, start and ends here. And inside each li tag, add an h3 tag. Now inside each h3 tag, list down your projects, and below each li tag, add a p tag, inside which you will describe the project. Okay, so below each li tag, for example, this tag ends here, you need to add a p tag. Okay, and in that p tag, inside that p tag, you need to describe your projects. Inside the h3 tag, you need to add the name of your project. It can be anything that you want. You know, looking into the live version, that's how it looks. In your case, it should be any project described under the h3 tag, and this is the description of your project. It will be different in everyone's case because they are doing it individually. Reviewing the code, we get to know that the UL tag is used to represent an unordered list, a bulleted list. An li tag is used to add an element, an item of that list. So we see here that elements can be nested. We have a parent element, and inside this parent element, we have a child element. Okay, so UL is a kind of a parent element, and this li element is its child element. Now let's add an image of ourselves here. Okay, so what you can do is you can write an image tag using this opening bracket image, then src is equal to this URL. Let me send the whole thing. Okay, so you have to add it below this p tag and before projects. Okay, so we can add it here before the project. So I hope you guys are following, and as we can see, after successfully referring our image, this is how the web page will look. The size of your image may be different, but don't worry, we'll fix this later. Okay, so maybe in your case also your the size of your image will be this, as I've shared this that image. Now the image tag img image tag contains an image inside of it. It's a self-closing tag. The location where the image is told to us by the src attribute. Src stands for source. Attributes can be added to any HTML element to modify them. And the self-closing tag requires only a single tag instead of the opening and closing tag. So we can see that the image tag is a self-closing tag. It starts here and it's closed also. But the other tags, for example, the h2 tag is needs a closing tag. Yeah, sure. P tag is a closing tag, needs an opening and closing tags. Okay, let's build our contact section now. Remember when I said using link tag, we can use the font awesome icons gallery. Here we are using the font awesome gallery using this link tag. Okay, and these are remote files. So we'll use these icons to add links to our portfolio, to our profiles on different websites. Now go to index.html and below the last UL tag, add a footer element. Okay, so below this UL tag, the last UL tag you have, add a footer element. Now inside this, add an A tag, and inside each A element, add an I tag. Okay, so it will look something like this. Footer tag starts, A tag starts, I tag ends, A tag ends, and footer tag ends. Now add an href attribute to point to the URL of your LinkedIn profile or any profile you want. Also add a target is equal to underscore blank inside the opening A tag as well. Okay, so you need to add this code. Let me copy paste and send it to you. This this thing https linkedin.com should be different in your case. It should be a link to your profile. Okay, so we have added all of this as I've sent this. Okay, this I class is equal to everything. So let me add it also in my case. That's how it looks. Now the A tag represents an anchor element. It is used to create links. The I tag was used to create icons here. href refer to the URL that the link should point to. Target is an attribute used to open links on new tabs. Importantly, class attribute is used to apply some specific styles to elements belonging to a particular group, or I should say under the same class. Area hidden, ARIA hidden, tells that the screen reader to tells the screen reader to ignore an element. Now we'll see how we can change the styling of text using HTML tags. These two, EM and strong tag. In our index.html file, add an EM tag around anything you want to turn to italics and a strong tag around anything that you want to turn to bold. Okay, so in my case, I've already added this. Here, I want difference in analytical engines to turn to italics and ADA to turn to bold. As you can see here, this thing difference and analytical engines has been turned to italics and this word ADA has been turned to bold. So you can add it like this. The word that you want to turn to a specific style, before and after that word, add these tags. An EM tag or the strong tag. Okay, so class, as I said, class attribute is used to apply some specific styles. Okay, the CSS styles to our website, to a specific part that belongs to that class. Okay, so in our case, we added this attribute, I think, here. For example, we have added this attribute here, class is equal to glitch button. Okay, we have not added this, was added from earlier. We added this here, div class is equal to social, as we need to style this afterwards. Okay, so this is a particular type of a specific kind of styling. To style a particular tag, we can add a class attribute to it, and the name of that attribute should be enclosed under double quotes. Okay, so if we want to style this icon, we'll add a class before it. So I represents this icon, and before it we see this link, because when we click on this link, this will open linkedin.com. Okay, as we added this URL, this URL. Okay, so A was to open this link as a URL. I was for the icon, and class is used to style this afterwards. Okay, after adding content, let's move towards styling our website. Now here, this body is a CSS selector which selects everything inside the body. Whatever we'll put inside this will be applied to the whole body itself. I meant the whole thing, from here to here. Everything that is visible comes under the body. Okay, so this font family is by default set to Open Sans, and if our browser cannot understand Open Sans font, it will switch to Helvetica, Arial, or sans serif. But majority of the browsers understand this font. This is just a backup. Margin here means the percentage space with respect to 100%, that should be there around our element. So anything, this thing is also an element, this thing is also an element, this thing is also an element, this thing is also an element. Okay. And this H1 CSS selector is used is used here to change the color of each H1 tag to the color blue. Okay. This is used to change the color of the text that is inside the H1 tag. For example, this H1, if we add an H1 tag in, if we have added an H1 tag here and if we want to style it using style.css, then we should have to add this code H1 color colon Dodger blue. This is a HTML color code. There are lots of color codes. This can be anything like black, blue, green, anything. Or even in some other units also. For example, hexadecimal units. Hexadecimal is also a way of writing colors. So these are the units that we use in our CSS file in this project, and you can see here what they does. Okay, now let's add some color. Change the H2 tag to the color dim gray. Okay, we have a lot of color codes in HTML. You can Google to know more about them. So before that, we need to add these two styles, the body and for the H1. Okay, let me copy it and send it to you. Okay, so add these two styles in styles.css. Okay, it's added by default, but you can also just copy and paste this. Okay, and after that, add this style that will change the color of H2. Below it. Okay, so this is how it should look. So checking the live version, that's how it looks. Okay, we change the H1 tag to Dodger Blue, which is this, the H1 tag. Where it is? Yes, the this name. This has been changed to Dodger Blue, and this H2 tag has been changed to color is 142133. It is a color code in hexadecimal format. Okay, so about and projects has been changed to this color, some sort of black color. Here we see that a CSS tag selector is used to style all elements with a certain tag. Now we'll add some structure now. Add a section tag above the H2 tag that says about and add the closing section tag just before the footer tag. Okay, so the opening section tag should be added just before this about H2 tag, like this. Okay, add here, and this closing tag we need to add just before the footer tag. Okay, so just before the footer tag, add this closing tag. Now we'll give an attribute Uh, okay, so we have done this. Now we'll give an attribute of class equals to main. Okay, so that will allow us to style this section tag afterwards. That's the use of class. Class equals to main. Okay, now you need to add two div elements, one around the about section and the other around the project section. Okay, so below this section class is equal to main, add a div tag. I'm not indenting this code, as I know we are in the beginner stages of learning this HTML and CSS, but ideally you should indent this code. It should end before the just this section tag. Okay, so the ending tag for div should be added just before the ending tag of the section tag. Okay, so we added a div tag inside the project section, and we need to add one before inside the about section. Okay, let's check. Div is just before about and it ends here. Okay, so it will not end here. It will end here, just below the image tag. Okay, so just follow it how I'm doing. Before the image, just after the image tag. Okay, and the second tag is to be put before the project's h2 tag, this div tag. Okay, and the this ending tag should be kept just before the ending of the section tag, like we did earlier. Okay, so looking at the live version, we see nothing much has changed. Don't worry, we'll change this using CSS styles. That was the purpose of adding those tags. So what we see here is a CSS class selector which is used to style all the elements belonging to a certain class. Class selectors are more specific than tag selectors. Dot logo is a class selector. If we had a class equals to a logo inside double quotes, we should we should have changed that class using this class selector dot logo. In case of tags, we selected that using just the name of the tag, for example h3 only. But in case of class equals logo, we select this using dot logo. So these class selectors are more specific than tag selectors. This is an important concept, and these class selectors will henceforth or override the tag selectors. In case you have both the tag selector and class selector targeting the same element, then the style inside the class selector will be applied. In our style.css, let's add a CSS rule that that will style the elements with the class main. Okay, so you need to add this CSS rule. Okay, so that is how it should look in my part. Okay, let me add this in my code. section, this section. Okay, so we'll add this style for the class main. We need to add this in style.css. Okay, we added this in style.css. Now let's see this. Display property tells us how the element takes up space on a page. In Flex, each HTML element is squeezed to the one before it to fill the available space. Justify content is used to set up space between elements on the same line. Space around is used to put equal space around all the elements. The height property is used to set the height of the CSS element. For example, 70vh, which is view height, sets the height to 70% of the height of the browser's window. For example, this is the height of the browser's window. 70vh will set the height of that element to 70% of this height. Let's set the dimension of these sections. In index.html, below our section tag in the first div, add a class is equal to left, and in the second div, add a class equals to right. That will allow us to style them. So go to index.html. In our first div, below this section class equals to main, add the class equals to left. Okay, class equals to sign and left inside double or single quotes. That should come before the project. Should come before about h2, and before the projects, add class equals to right attribute to this div, which is before the projects. Now in style.css, add a CSS rule to style the elements with left and right class, changing their width to 46 VW, which is view width. So I need you to add this style in your style.css. This is below every style is below it. So we see now that both of these parts have been separated due to this style. Now we'll resize our image using the CSS rule. Here, set your height to 40vh and width to auto, and the margin should be 3vh space 0. And you can also delete that glitch fish. Okay, so I'm talking about this style. Now add the style here. You can also do. We should delete this fish. Okay, so now look at your page and that's it. I think that should be done. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's done almost. So let us look more into it. Some important CSS properties that were used were to display the width and height and the color. Okay, so we use these properties. The display was set to flex and the height was set using VH, view height, percentage, and PX. PX is pixels. And for the width, we use these styles VW, percentage, and PX. Percentage is used for relative sizing. Now you can visit this website to see how you can specify colors. Okay, so by now you have a website that is deployed, so anyone can check it. We now see some optional optimization. You can add this CSS rule to change the color of links. Also, make sure to add some more icons to your Twitter, GitHub, or Instagram profiles. Okay, so let me give you some more styles. We added style.css like this. So in this case, we selected the links and changed the color to dodger blue. And we selected this footer and changed it to this color, which is a kind of a black color. Okay, so in your case, you can add this hexadecimal code, or you can also add just black. Will also work. As you can see, actually the footer is not displayed on my side. Okay, so that's okay. Nothing much to worry about. And you can add some more links, or I should say icons. Let me copy this and share with you. Okay, so just below this, add all of these. Ideally, we should indent our code in HTML. That's a very good practice, but that comes at an intermediate stage. Once you are all in the introductory stage, you should not care much about that. But it looks good if we indent our code. For example, inside this section, we should have them all at the same level. You can indent them like this. Select all of these and press tab. This will indent it. And in this case, select all of this, press tab. Okay, so this is indented. This part is indented. This part is already indented. This part is already done. Good. So after we added those icons, this is how it should look. Now it doesn't look much good. So what we can do is we can add a CSS style that will separate all of these icons. So you can add this style that will separate these icons. Okay, so going to a live version, we see that these icons have been separated now. Okay, You can also add an A tag around the h3 elements that lists your project with the href attribute pointing to the project's URL. Okay, so in my case, I added an A tag here. Uh, yes, this one. Logo for Major League Hackings. This thing has been changed to a link, as you can see here. Okay, so when I click it, it will open at the place we specify here. So in our case, we can write any URL. So for example, mls.io. Let's open this thing now. It will open like this. Okay, so you can add links inside any paragraph you want. Now you can visit fonts.google.com to know more about how to add different fonts to your web page. In our case, I think this is not looking much nice. Now we should add some styling to this. Okay, so you can add this style. That will change its styling inside style.css. Okay, so let's recap what we learned. HTML basically provides structure to websites, and CSS provides different types of styles. We can deploy our website to access them on any device using its URL. So you can access this quiz after this workshop to check what you learned. Okay, so I'm giving it here. Also for the next steps, you can add different types of fonts. Okay, you can check fonts.google.com to add fonts to this website. And after this workshop, you will get an email with the workshop slides and code. But I would like you to take this code as well in case you want to refer to it later. What we did is we created this repository. We share this with you. Okay, so go to this link. When you will go to this link, will open this repository and you will access this website here. Okay, so this is kind of a different version we made. So in order to see how we did all of this, these are some of the minor changes, only just the minor changes. We can access this repository. Okay, so go to this repository and see what we changed in the styles and what HTML code we added. So this is the website. Okay, so thanks a lot for attending this workshop.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, everyone, for joining. And thank you, Mayu, for taking out time. I guess this is very essential and introductory. So everyone understood. Also, if you have any questions, suggestions, feedback, feel free to DM us on our GDSA account. We'll be glad. And to the very few participants, it will be very nice if you join in time so you don't miss out on the initial steps. Thank you.
Right. Thanks a lot. Let's end this call now.